Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Good. We are so glad and happy to be here. Thank you for welcoming us in your home.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Fantastic. Firstly, before we go any further, I guess the first question would be your name and that of your organization, that which has attracted us here.
Okay, my name is Albert Ashley Masango. The name of the organization is RTBS Zonges Anti-Drugs Foundation.
Okay.
Yes.
Number one, Anti-Drugs Foundation. Okay, that's good news. And where are you from?
I'm original from Zimbabwe.
You are from Zimbabwe?
Yes.
So what exactly are you doing in this organization? We have heard it's anti-drugs organization, but what exactly are you doing?
Yeah, basically, it's not about what I'm doing, it's about what are we doing, because it's not a one-man show organization, it's a collective as it is as an organization.
Okay.
So, within the organization, we have got some objectives that we want to meet, although it's a little bit hard to achieve those goals, but so far so now, we've done many projects, and our main priority within the organization, as it says itself, that it's called RTBS Zonges Anti-Drugs Foundation. So anti-drugs is the main theme of the organization, of which our priority is going around the schools, mobilizing the youth within the community, educating them about the truth of drugs.
Okay.
Yes.
Number one. You said it's hard. You want to do many things, though it is hard. What is making it hard?
You know, running a charity organization is so hard because you must understand that our organization falls under NPC, which is a non-profit company.
Okay.
So therefore, to run the organization, to make the programs, to move from point A to point B, you need the finance to keep you going. So as we depend on donations, sponsors, like the previous years, the economy was hit by the COVID, and recently things are not going well about what is happening about the war in Ukraine and Russia. So you find out that the business people have been behind us, sponsoring us, they're also struggling within their businesses. So it affects our programs, because like now we have a lot of programs that we have to go to the schools, educating the schools about the truth of drugs. And we understand that the schools are not also around here at RTBS, but we have to travel like from Hartis to Rustenburg, in Pretoria. As we just go all over that way we are requested to go and educate the kids.
Okay. So it's hard, and yet you are doing it. What's motivating you to do this?
Basically, you know, I'm doing it most, I can say, currently, I'm doing it out of my pocket. And also the assistance of the Sediba Spa, Mr. Chris Ginogopolis. He's the man that is behind our programs, the one who's sponsoring me. But you must understand, he's also running a business. We can't always go and knock to his door, you understand? Sometimes also, I feel like I can't let these kids, when I'm invited to come to a certain school. So what motivated me to be involved in this program is like, you know, backwards, when we are staying in there was a certain squatter camp called Popomuli, if you go to Swereji, around Hartis. It was back 2004, 2005. I saw that, you know, the life which is being happened with the kids within the squatter camp, with the lack of information, the kids ending up doing some nasty things, but not saying that they were doing those things because they want to do it, but because some they don't have information. Some they just do it for the sake of doing it without knowing the consequences. You understand? So it played in my heart because as also a person who grew up in a poverty-stricken background environment, I know that if someone got a potential to achieve some goals, but he doesn't have the way to break through that breakthrough, you need someone who can come and give some promptly information. How can you achieve this? How can you do this? Because you must understand, some of these young boys, young girls, You might find that they are good, they've got talent in playing soccer, some that are even better at singing, some that are even good at school. But because of the background, the environment where they stay, they end up involved in drugs because a lot of things which lead them to do that. So that's why I said, no, let me stand up and assist these kids because I'm also here like what I am because I've been assisted to be whatever that I am.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fantastic. This is good work. So, for how long have you been doing this as of now? And maybe let me also ask a funny question. When do you think you can stop doing it? And is this going to go on even after you? I mean, is it a legacy that you hope to see living forever? Or it dies with you? When you die, then the project dies also. Or when you retire, then the project is dead.
You know, this thing is not about me alone. That's why we registered it as an organization.
Okay.
That with or without me, the organization must still go ahead. You understand? Because the organization got directors. And even though our directors were now scattered and I'm the only one remaining pushing this organization because that's my passion. It's not about doing this. It needs a lot of things to accommodate within your heart. So what I'm thinking about the organization to achieve, it's like I want to expand it broader, to escalate it to another level that we can reach many African SADC countries which are hit by the usage of drugs to the youth. We have South Africa, we have Zimbabwe, we have Mozambique, we have Zambia, we have Malawi. Those are the countries currently are hit here in SADC, the COSAFA where we are. So my objective is that next year we have to go and launch this organization in Zimbabwe so that we can also have some volunteers that we are going to take to the programs of knowing the truth of drugs, which is powered by the Drug-Free World. It's another big organization in Pretoria.
Okay.
So all the people that will be volunteers will be required to go certain courses online, or just because the economy back home in Zimbabwe, you know how it is. So it's the thing that we have to sit down with the Drug-Free World people, then arrange that. Even if we can start with a few people, even we can get 5 volunteers, because when I'm going to launch it, I'm also going to launch it at my home place in Chirets. You understand? So it's whereby I'm going to look for 5 people. If possible, we're going to raise demand that they can come here and be accommodated at Drug-Free World and be taught, educated about how are we going to present those truth about drugs to the school kids, to the youth. You understand? Because it needs someone who is equipped, who have been gaining knowledge about whatever that we are doing. So basically, that's my vision, that next year we're going to launch it back home in Zimbabwe.
Okay, that brings me to this question that I've been battling with.
Yes.
Why do you think young people are getting involved in drugs? What are the reasons so far from your researches and from the way you interact with these young people? What exactly is dragging them into drugs?
Yeah, that's a good question. Within among the youth, there's a lot of things that contribute for these youth to be involved in drugs. It depends on environment, situation of the person. But let's talk basically with the youth that we are working with at the schools, like you understand. The thing that youth, why they are getting involved in drugs, some they're getting drugs because they want to seem to be grown up. You understand? Okay. Some they want to experiment. Some they want to rebel. Some they want just to say, I want to fit in. For instance, if is a certain boy at school, he feels like, I want to join these guys at school, but these guys, what can I do? You understand? Remember, we're talking about the kids here. They don't have the capacity of thinking behavior like me and you. So whatever that people that you want to join, whatever they're going to tell him, he's going to do that because he wants to fit in to the certain people. And also about being to be seen grown up. A lot of youth, they think that taking drugs, you will be seen like you are now mature, you are now a grown-up person. Some they take it just to be liked, just to be famous around the school. Because, you know, at school, if everyone says, "Shish, this is zonge, this is zonge, I like this, I like this," some of the kids, they start to feel that thing
Feel
within
special.
that, why this guy? I want to be
Oh.
like, you understand? Not knowing that, what makes that guy to be like that? You don't understand what is happening within him.
So how do you communicate your messages to these young people? How do you reduce probably your level of thinking and understanding to their level so that they can really grasp the message that you are trying to send to them?
You know, it's fortunate that my programs that I'm doing are powered by the drug-free world. The drug-free world, each and every time, they take us to the courses. Like now, I'm an ambassador for the organization of Drug-Free World. So they teach us how to interact with those kids and how to present our programs. And our message is clear, that because as we go around the schools teaching those kids that you have to be familiar and know the truth about drugs. It's not only about the truth of drugs. What are the consequences of using drugs? What those drugs are they using? So it's within our time that if I'm going to a certain school, just for example, I'm going to Rustenburg, I have to research that in Rustenburg, which drug is common used there. If you found that is heroin, then if I go there to present to the kids, because heroin in our local community, black community, they call it is Nyaope. So it will be easier to the kids to understand because they daily see the Nyaope people, addicts on the street who are taking drugs. So it's very, very easy to reach them within the message that, guys, when I'm saying that you mustn't take the drug, why is because these are the consequences, these are the long-term effects, because you'll be losing conscience, you'll be starting to be delusional, even your thinking behavior, it won't work accordingly the way you think, because you start to be arrogant. You understand? These also the causes of what? Of the drugs. Because we must have a platform that when you interact with the kids about the drug, they must understand. They must listen to you. And they must have that feeling that I want to gain more and more and more. So it's not about also drugs. You have to mix talking to them about the general things that happens in their life. Like recently, on this coming Saturday, we're doing that teenager pregnancy and drug abuse seminar. Is whereby we'll be taking boys and girls, we're combining them, we teach them about the truth of drugs and what the ways, what are the consequences that is going to lead them when they take drugs. They end up engaged in early sexual activities. It might be the kids that are doing it for just that they love the girl, they comes out form of the rape, they end up in the hands of the police, and even some they'll be fighting, stabbing each other with the knives, they end up dead, but because they took some drugs.
So from the way you are saying, let me ask you this one. Is there a link between drugs, teen pregnancy and crime in our communities?
Yes, absolutely yes. All those things, they go hand to hand. Because the first thing that when I said that why the teenager take drugs, they take drugs because some they want to fit in. You want to fit in so that you can be liked by a certain girl, that you wish that I want to date that girl. And if that girl is taking drugs, which means even the boy who likes the girl is also going to fall to take some drugs. You understand? Because you understand that if I take the drugs, he got something in common that is going to share with the girl. So the opportunity to be loved about that girl are so high. You understand? They start to date each other. But that dating is not a mutual feeling. It's something in common which they use. You understand? Because there is a link that is linking them. What is the link? It's because it's drugs. They end up taking drugs together. They're sleeping around together. They won't be using protection. There will be more opportunity for them, chance to get HIV. You understand? After that, you understand that these are teenagers. The boy wants to impress the girl, but he is not working. He's under parental guidance. What next for the boy to impress the girl? He end up going doing shoplifting at shops, stealing some chocolates, some yogurt. Yeah. Those things that impress the girl. At the end of the day, the boy is being arrested.
Life is lost.
Got some criminal record. He left that girl is pregnant. So if you link this, it's drugs, teenage pregnancy, and crime.
From this, do you have any plan to involve the parents?
Yes.
Or do they have a role to play, these parents?
Yes, we have good programs, parental guidance lines that we implemented in our knowing about the truth. So what we do basically, that when we go to do the programs in schools, because those are 3 programs, there is a program that is assigned for the parents. There is a program assigned for the school teachers and for the kids. This parental guidance lines is for the parent to be equipped so that they will be aware, they will be having knowledge to assess their kids if they are now engaged in some drugs activities. And also the school teachers, they've got their program so that they can be aware also to analyze the child, that why this child is changing, why this is happening. So all those, they link together, because it's not worth that we do some of our programs with the kids only, because those teachers are the people that spend a lot of time with the kids during the days. You understand? So when those kids, they're starting to be engaged in some drugs, the teachers, if they've got the knowledge, what we implement through our programs, they have got the way to communicate with the parents. Because it's very shocking that you just woke up a day, you pick up a phone, you call, say, I'm Mr. Masango, your school teacher, your kid is in drugs. We don't do that. We have a proper way. How are we going to send the message to the parents? How are we going to engage with the parents? Because that's something shocking. Because you understand that parents, they take time to raise their kids in difficult condition within this difficult economy. So to hear something like that is very, very, very awkward. So everything that we do pertaining to the drugs, we have the way. How are we going to reach the parents? How are we going to reach the guidance of the kid? And how are we going to help? Because at the end of the day, we need the authority from the parents or the people who are taking care of the child.
Wow, I wish these kids would realize how much they are loved. Okay, so there is a connection between drugs, teenage pregnancy, and crime.
Absolutely.
Which definitely means if we eradicate drugs, or if we take off completely drugs off our streets, there's a huge chance that we might do away with teenage pregnancy and crime. Maybe we reduce crime high. So the question is, what is the possibility of us achieving that?
As I said, that running an organization like this as a charity organization, it takes a lot, and it's very difficult. Why I'm saying this is because it needs all the stakeholders to come together.
Yeah.
So when all the stakeholders are together, we assign each other. If we take whatever that we agree on our platform that we agreed, things will be very okay. Because right now, you can't say that we are going to fight drugs by arresting the drug dealers. That won't help. It has been tried and tried and tried, but we're still having a lot of drug dealers, a lot of drug sellers on the street. We're still having a lot of drug abusers. The kids are losing their lives daily. They're getting out of school, they're getting pregnant, even some that are in prison, some are dead because of the drugs. So from my own suggestion and perspective, what I believe that it can eradicate drugs is teaching the people the truth of drugs. Because you must understand that the drugs don't come to you. You, the person, you go to find the drugs. So if we teach the people, if we teach our youth, if we teach our kids about the truth of drugs, before the drug dealers come to teach them in another way, we're going to win the war. How? We've got many departments within all the countries that we are residing. Each and every government have got departments. Currently, I'm lucky that my program have been appreciated by the local police station of RDBS police station, that the people are behind me, because wherever when we go to teach the kids, we need the president of the police, of the law enforcement, because combating crime, it starts with educating. It doesn't start with arresting. You can arrest, but are you dealing with the root cause of the problem? No. But if we educate the kids that you mustn't take the synthetic drug, because synthetic drug is dangerous to your metabolism and pancreas nervous system. It's dangerous to your thinking behavior. It's dangerous to everything that you'll be doing according to your life. Your senses will be delusional. It won't work the way it was supposed to work from the way you are normal. Your metabolism, they will start functioning. It will be dysfunctioning. What we are teaching them, it will scare them. It will make sense to their mind that, okay, if I take this drug that I was about to take, which means I'm going to lose all those things and end up like those people that I see on the street. You understand? By doing that, we are reducing the number of the people who are going to buy drugs. Once we win that war of educating the people, the drugs won't have market. The drug dealers won't have something to sell, because we are the biggest people who support the drug dealers. We go and buy the drugs from them. Because why? We didn't get the knowledge from the background. So now if we can stand up and say, okay, guys, enough is enough. The drugs, we can now consider it is a pandemic that is killing, is finishing our children. What can we do? Let's educate the kids thoroughly. You understand? It's not just about educating this and this, because it takes time to educate the kids and finally to understand that, okay, why they say drug is a poison. You understand? Why they say that I mustn't take drugs. We illustrate, we explain to them amicably and promptly, thoroughly, so that what we talk to them, it gets to their mind. Whenever they see the drug, all those things we've been teaching them, it starts to appear in their in their mind, that no, I mustn't take drugs. That's the only way we can do it. In Mexico now, they are now winning this drug issue. Why? Because there are a lot of volunteers, some former drug addicts. They are going teaching the kids. They are going teaching the people on the street why you mustn't take drugs. Because if you take drugs, you will end up like this. Because I'm the former. I was doing it. You understand? And the drug dealers, they won't have money.
So it's from the way you are explaining, you are reaching these kids before they get involved. But how do you deal with someone who is already smoking? He's a young kid, maybe you were late to get to the school. You go to the school after the guy is already an addict. He's still coming to school, he's still better, but you know where he is going. He's ruining his life. And how do you get to those ones? How do you send your message to those?
We got some programs. As I want to say something very, very, very important. You know, an addict who is using drugs, it depends how long the person has been using drugs. And if you can go and ask those addicts, they will say that I want to quit, but I don't know how. I don't know. I don't want to do the drugs anymore. Why is he saying that? Because he realized that something that he is within it is not something that is going to sustain forever. So what we do, we start to find out what are the consequences that you are facing and what the things that pushed you to take drugs. Because as we mentioned earlier, people, they take drugs for main reason. There are some people who are facing some difficulties in their lives. Maybe he's a teenager or he's a youth who is staying with the parents. One of the parents passes away and the father remains or the mother remains. He can be married again, and the child feels that I'm not being treated well. You understand? Because this is not my father, or this is not my mother, or I'm not getting these. They are buying another child good things, me, I'm not getting it. So they start to smoke. Because drugs, they don't just go start to cocaine. They start even with the cigarette. After the cigarette, it needs more. Because the cravings, they need more, something which is strong. They go again to marijuana. Because those are the drugs that is local, is cheap for them to get. You understand? So by doing that, they think that they are getting the solution to the problem that they're having, not knowing that they're making the current situation to be worse. Because why I'm saying to be worse, it's not easy to get out from drugs. So while we come to you, we sit with you down, we find the element of the root, what led you to take drugs, we deal with it from the beginning. When we deal with it with our programs, with our booklets, it needs you also to sympathize with us, to understand that whatever that I'm doing, whatever this booklet is saying, I've already saw them on my way of taking drugs. You understand? Because myself, I don't encourage that if you've got a child who is on drugs, take the child to rehabilitation. I don't encourage that. Because I've been getting calls, a lot of calls for the parents who took their kids. Even some parents, they even took some loan at the bank to pay for the rehabilitations because they're expensive. So that their kids can be rehabilitated from drugs. They go, the kids, 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, they come back to that same environment which causes those kids to be involved in drugs. And also, whenever they have the rehabilitation, they get the methadone, that the medicine which are using to kill all the cravings of the drugs. And that method also, when the child leaves the rehabilitation and comes to the environment where he's staying, and he sees that friends that have been hanging around who's taking drugs, that method is a craving on itself. It needs to be taken care. It starts to crave. Because the kid is no longer getting that method because he's no longer in the rehabilitation. He's on the street. He goes again to the whatever issues near to him. What is that? He go to marijuana, he go to cocaine. They can go even to painkillers. They go a lot of LCD, synthetic drugs, they get involved with them. You understand? So the best way that we do to someone who is already engaged in drugs, we sit with you down, we start to know, to find out what made you to be involved in drugs. We deal with that root cause firstly. Then we start to tell you with our program is not medicines. It's a written booklet approved by the World Drugs Organization, like Drug Free World. That's what we do. But it takes a person that your instinct wants to stop. If you want to stop, then when we come, we'll help you. We don't go to you say that you must stop the drugs because you are still using the drugs. No, we don't do that. Because basically, what we are objected is to deal with the young kids who are not yet involved or who are about to be or who are still getting interested, like smoking cigarettes, taking little ganja or whatever, you understand? Those are the kids that we are mainly focused with them because we don't want them to add numbers to the already addicts.
Okay, so the difference between you and rehab is that rehab deals with the consequences.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And understand that at rehab, it's a business.
Yeah.
They're making money there, you understand? So me, in another way, I'm an enemy of the rehab and the drug dealers because the more I teach kids about don't take the drugs, the more the rehabilitation they go, don't get people to come to be rehabilitated. And also the drug dealers, the more I teach the kids, their business is going down, which means that they won't be having market. So if I go and preach that don't do drugs because you end up in a rehabilitation, you understand that someone who's running a rehabilitation center is making money about those people.
Doesn't like that.
Absolutely.
No, you remind me of a story that my friend was telling me one day.
Yes.
He saw two white people fighting, the father and son.
Yes.
Son fighting with the father. You brought me into this drug. Look at how different our life is compared to those who are not in drugs. They are driving big cars and we are just craving and walking, following dustbins out here. But what are the most popular drugs in our streets?
It depends with the place. It depends. Like where we are here at Hartis, because you know Hartis is a two-way in community environment. We've got the side when we are here, like Afsal, Tel Rooms, Sunway. The thing about drugs is that, my friend, the drugs is popular because it's cheaper to the people. How do they get it? So here at the local people, our black community, through this economy hardships, they don't afford to get cocaine.
Okay.
They afford that nyaope, what we call heroin. You know, nyaope, those are the substance that is left when drug dealers are manufacturing the heroin. Because nyaope, after that, is when they mix with the right poison detergents so that it can be stronger. So it's cheaper to them. So that's why you see the boys going around the street taking whatever they steal, the scrap to the scrapyard. Because if you can go there, you might find it for 30 rand. You understand? So they know that per day, if I can hustle my scrap and doing whatever the dustbin selling, I'll get 30 rand and I'll buy my nyaope. You understand? So you might find that there is another areas in the townships where they can't even do that. So that you see they combine 30 rand that they buy, maybe there are 6. They do that we call a Bluetooth to each other. They inject it. You understand? When you smoke, when you are high, they inject you, it takes the blood, inject it to someone. What? You see, they will be transmitting the highness of the drugs from your body to my body. You see.
Sharing blood.
Sharing blood because your blood will be already occupied by that drug. So if I take your blood, I inject to myself, I also feel the same. You understand? So you might find, you see that all these elements, it's very dangerous. Because let's say that I'm high, I'm HIV positive, I've got sugar diabetes, I've got any chronic disease. When I transfer my blood to you, which means I'm transferring whatever that I'm having to you. You understand? So that's why I'm...
Alright, let me ask this question, this funny one. Do you classify weed as drug?
If you say weed, you are talking about marijuana, okay? Weed is a street name for marijuana.
Okay.
Weed is being called weed with the different areas where people are staying, but the umbrella term is marijuana. Marijuana
So
on itself is a drug.
How are you getting churches, community leaders, and businesses involved? Do you have a plan of incorporating these people in your efforts to fight drugs?
Yes, we have some churches that were working with them, like the one down there led by that Professor Mashudu Chifulara. We once do some programs within the church with the congregation there, and the one in Afsal there, we've been doing that. As for community leaders, yes, we involve the community leaders to come and get the experience, because as we said that this thing must not end when myself, I'm no more in this world, or I've relocated, or I've gone back to my native country in Zimbabwe. You understand? It must not stop there. It must go ahead. The business people, we have some business people who come on board helping us, because they see that this thing got the light at the end, because the drugs affect many people in many ways. The drugs doesn't affect people because they take drugs. It affects people, even myself, it can affect myself, that if I don't teach my next door child about the truth of drugs, tomorrow I'll be crying when that child is taking drugs. When I'm not here, when I went somewhere or I went to work, when you see my washing, when I wash, I put outside there. When he doesn't have money to go and buy the drugs, he will take those clothes and sell to get the drugs. So it's affecting me directly. So people, they must understand that we must not have that ideology as black people, that as long it doesn't affect me directly, I don't care, he's not my child. But that not your child, when he steals from you,
It then affects
it affects you.
So
Not only clothes. You might just go around washing, hanging your clothes outside. When you come back, you find the TV is gone, the sound bar is gone. Because when someone is craving for drugs, it just take anything to go and sell. So we need to come together, like you said, that the community leaders, the church, the business people, because we are one family. If we can come together and combat this by educating the people, you understand, we can win. But also on how to educate these people, it needs a very good strategy, because people, they think that drug dealers, they are not human beings, they are the people that we are not supposed to hang out with. No, they need our love. They need our appreciation. We need to take care for them. We need to love them and teach them, so that they can realize that whatever that they started is not appreciated, is wrong. So,
these guys who are manufacturing drugs, I don't even know if we should call it manufacturing. Yeah. Obviously, maybe some of them are just doing it for money. They want to make money, but they are putting everyone at risk. They are destroying young people's lives. They are destroying even those who are not drug addicts, those who are not even smoking, are affected somehow, like you just said. Do you have any plans to meet these people? Do you even know them, or they are hidden?
my brother, me, I don't want to know the drug dealers. And I don't want to know how do they operate, because those are the heartless people. Because if you can manufacture a drug which can kill someone, which means you are not the person that we can call a human being who is supposed to be with other people within the community. Because those people who are manufacturing drugs, there are people that are owning those pharmacies. They are the people who have got knowledge. They are most educated people. Some, even the doctors who are respected within the communities, are the people who are manufacturing the drugs. Because to manufacture a drug, let me just give you an example of a synthetic dagga. A synthetic dagga is the original dagga that you are saying, a weed. But because of their knowledge, they change the perspective of the drug. They can even manufacture, build some cars in the house and change the colors of those marijuana to be blue, to be purple, to be pink within the houses, manufacturing those drugs so that it can have market. So these are the very more advanced people than me and you. And at the end of the day, they're heartless. Because if you can make money with something which kills someone's child, and remember, their children, they don't take drugs. They teach their kids that don't take this, is dangerous, it's poison. Of course it's poison. But they're making money. They're making a lot of money, millions. How about it?
Now, many young Africans, they are losing a lot of money, not only on drugs, but also on normal cigarette and even beer. Most of them, they work very hard, only to go and spend all that money in the beer halls. And some are not only losing money, but also lives, because there are dangers that comes with the consumption of those products. Do you have any plan or programs that are coming or that you are already doing to help these people?
You mentioned that the young people, some that are spending money like in beers or whatever. You know, it's only that it's unfortunate that we grew up in an environment where we didn't have information.
Okay.
Because when we heard that it's a beer, it's a beer. A beer is also a drug, my brother.
Okay.
The alcohol within the beer is also contributes to whatever the drug does. Abusive of alcohol, you end up doing the same thing that like the person who took cocaine does. You understand? So we reach to the kids. But when we reach to the kids, when we talk about the abusive of alcohol, you know, it takes them quite a long to understand, because they know that the only purpose of beer is to be drunk. Of course, they'll be abusing the beers. You understand? So that's why we need to teach our kids that drugs are poisons. If you take alcohol and abuse it, you will be taking poison. Because you'll be ending up doing things deliberately, unconscious, not knowing that tomorrow, the consequences that you've been doing, they will hurt you. Because if you go to the police station on Monday, when those guys are going to court, they've been arrested, they were fighting at the shabins, at the clubs, at the pubs. He was drunk. He's holding his head saying, "No, I'm regretting whatever that I've done because I was drunk." Because if he didn't take alcohol, he couldn't do that.
Exactly.
His or her senses was sensing very normal that if I can stab this person, I'm doing a crime. I will be ending up in prison, and I will be killing all my future. I will be hating the people who love me. You understand? Because you know, drugs, they don't only hate the addicts. They hate the family members who love their kids.
Exactly. To
lose your kid that you sacrifice a lot to send him to school, buying clothes, but because of drugs. Just to hear that we want you as a parent to the police station, your child is stabbed, this child is dead because it's under influence of drugs. It's something that we don't welcome as Africans. You know, we as Africans, we have got our instinction that we have to love each other, we've got to have respect. We don't do, unfortunately, these things, they're coming now because of people wanting man to make money with different ways. You understand? Then our kids, they end up being involved in those drugs. But we as Africans, our culture, those drugs, we are not supposed to be even engaged with them.
With teenage pregnancy, teen pregnancy, it's the world is confused. The leaders are confused, hence they are trying everything. In many countries now, they are even supplying condoms to young children because they don't know what to do. These children are getting involved anyway. But my question to you is, do you think there is a way that we can help these kids to abstain? Because abstinence is the only safe way. Because the condom is not 100% safe. And we are still getting teenage pregnancy, even if we even after giving them so much condoms and so much money is being spent in acquiring those condoms and supplying it in school, but it's not helping.
You know, all the things, it goes back to leaders that we have to teach our kids before we supply them. Because if we go around the schools giving the kids some protections, they were saying them those condoms, in another way, some kids, they will think that we are saying do it but use a condom. So if we teach the kids about the reality of engaging in early sexual activities and what are the consequences of it, you understand, that will give impact to those kids that no, whatever that I wanted to do is not okay, it's not all right. Of course, that's another way of fighting maybe disease, to supply the condom to the kids, because it's not all the kids that will listen. Some will be disobedient, will be arrogant. At least if again they use those condoms, it's fine. You understand? Because we'll be fighting for different reasons. But at the end of the day, as you say, that condoms are not 100%, it's true, because they might find that they're using some protection, but we're still having some little kids having pregnant. You understand? So how can we stop these teenage pregnancies? We have to educate our kids. We have to educate the youth, the consequences, the truth about engaging in some early sexual activities. Because once we win that war, the kids will understand that sleeping around at our age, it doesn't make sense, because it will give us a lot of predicaments when the pregnancy is available, when yourself as a child, you are not working, you want to take care for the child, and that child is got a child again. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why you end up that even the child is 15-year-old. Who can employ the 15-year-old boy? No. And that child who impregnated the girl, you find that where he's coming, the background is a poverty-stricken background. It's a disadvantaged family. What is he going to do? He will be engaged in stealing. Stealing, at the end of the day, he's been caught. He's been sentenced to prison. It's worsening the situation
now.
You see. So teaching the kids about the truth of teenage pregnancy, the truth of early sexual activities, the truth of drugs, it will help a lot. Yes.
Thank you so much. So do you do a follow-up after you do your programs? Do you do a follow-up after that? And do you have some kids that, it gives you courage always, and it motivates you to keep going? If you have seen that, okay, this one was a drug addict, and after a certain program with him, he has changed now. He's a normal person who is working. And when they win the fight against drugs, do they come on board and also assisting others?
Yes, absolutely. We have a lot of kids. Like when I go to schools doing this program, at the end of the day, the kid will phone you that, no, sir, I'm in danger, I'm taking this drug, I need your help. And he's very confident that we deal with the kids privately. If I see that kid transforming, getting out from the drugs, that's my big achievement, because I've saved life. You understand? So we do follow-ups. At the schools that we go today, we teach the kids about the truth of synthetic drugs. The next day when we go again, when we show them some clips of the addicts who are involved in drugs, we start where we left. And we follow up that whatever that we taught them, that made a very huge impact to them. If we see that is not making impact, before we move on to another program, we can repeat that program so that we can see that the kids now, they really understand. We did our good follow-up. Not only to the kids, to the teachers and the parents. We do some follow-up so that our program can have impact to the kids, to the parents, to all those stakeholders that we'll be dealing with.
What are the challenges that you are facing?
No, the challenges, as I said earlier, that running a charity organization is very difficult, because all the things that we're doing, it requires money. You understand? To research, you need data. To travel, you need money to go. You have the organization now, we don't have a car to go around. You understand? So all those things to function, we need financial background, which is strong. So those are the challenges that affect. Otherwise, if you can have a good, a better and strong financial, we can reach many schools. We can save many lives. We can also play a very big, important role in reducing the crime that are being caused by these kids because they are taking drugs without knowing the consequences and the truth of drugs.
Being a Zimbabwean yourself, how are South Africans accepting you in their communities?
You know, what I can say is that, like myself, it's a quite long time while I'm here in South Africa, so they're accepting it very well. But you know, we are human beings. We are human beings. We talk. You understand? But when they talk, people, I don't say they're talking because they're South Africans.
Okay.
It's the nature of us as black people that whenever someone is doing something, we have to talk. Either we talk good, either we talk bad. So it will depend with the person that is doing the thing, that which side are you going to take this? Because I believe that if the people talk bad about me, I take it as like people that are advertising myself. Okay. I won't even have that energy to go advertising myself, because if 5 people are talking bad about me while I'm doing that, no, that is Zimbabwean. He thinks he's clever. He's doing this thing in our country. Why didn't you go back to Zimbabwe to do it? Which means those 5 people, when they go their separate ways, one people among that 5 person is going to engage with the other 5. You see, which means I will be. Is going to those people that they're talking. Some they will think that no, but this guy is doing the right thing. I need to work with this guy. I need to assist that guy. You understand? So good things comes in a different forms.
Okay. This question is a bit sensitive, but I have to ask it.
Okay.
Amongst the children or the drug addicts that you are meeting, obviously we are in South Africa, so
yes,
most of them will be South Africans. But how is it affecting foreign nationals also who are living in South Africa?
The usage of drugs now have got no boundaries and a limit and nationality. As long as we are in the same environment, we might be Zimbabweans, Malawians, Mozambicans, South Africans, engaging in drug activities doesn't have boundaries. It affects all the nationality, the people who are residing in the community where the drugs are being abused.
Wow. And these people that are manufacturing drugs, most of them, like you said, they are big guys. They have all the resources. And you know, they can, if they discover that this is the person that is, you know, that is affecting our business, because your teachings definitely will take them out of business completely. And if they realize that these guys can pay any amount of money to have your head on a silver platter, how are you protecting yourself? Are you not scared that that might happen to you?
You know, I'm not even scared about this thing, because myself, I'm not fighting drug dealers. I don't have any problem with them, with the drug dealers. I have got problem with our youth who are being involved in drugs. And I'm not saying drug dealers stop manufacturing your drugs, no. I'm saying, kids, here's the platform to know the truth of what you are going to take. If you want to be involved in drugs, you must know that your future, it ends here. You must know that your future, it will be 6 feet underground. You must know that your future, will you spend the rest of your life in prison. Why I'm saying this? When you're under influence of drugs, you can do anything dangerously. You might kill somebody just for that randa that you want to buy the drugs. And you go to prison, you are being sentenced for a life sentence. So, don't take drugs.
We have this notion here where we think drug dealers, most of them are Nigerians. Yeah, and should we attach this habit to a certain nation, or it is our problem? Because what I've also discovered is, yes, we accuse them, these Nigerians, of doing that. But even the communities where they are not there, drugs are still there.
You know, like when I said that we black people have got a tendency of saying that if we find a certain person on the street is stealing, when we find that the person is a causer, we can even badmouth the Xhosa people. I'm not saying that Nigeria, they don't sell drugs. They do sell drugs. That's their culture. That's why we know that the Nigerians are drug dealers. But taking drugs, selling drugs, manufacturing drugs does have anything to do with the nationality.
Yeah.
Anyone can do that. It's a crime. So when we are dealing with something which involves crime, let's deal with the crime as an object of crime, a syndicate of crime, a sentiment of crime. Let's take out the nationality. Because if we focus with the nationality, it's whereby that we'll be losing the battle. Because those Nigerians, they can groom the South African, they can groom the Zimbabwean, they can groom someone from overseas to do the drugs, and they just keep quiet. If you go to lots of township here, the people are selling drugs are our local people. Why? Because they get the drugs from different people. You understand? So drugs has nothing to do with nationality.
What's your message, your last message to our viewers in one or two sentences?
No, my message is always like when I say it's clear. Let's educate our kids about the truth of drugs before someone comes and teaches your kids in another way around. And remember, drugs are poisons. Don't take drugs. Don't do drugs. That's my message. Let's not do drugs. Just be with that mind of saying, I say no to drugs within my community. I say no to encourage someone to do drugs. Let's teach each other about the truth of drugs.
Are you proud to be an African?
Yes, I'm proud. Yes, I'm proud to be African.
Are you envisioning a drug-free Africa?
Yes, that's my dream, that's my vision, but you know, dreams and visions, they don't come like in an overnight way. It's a very big thing because, as I said, it needs all the stakeholders to come on board because drugs are spreading all over the world. And drugs are the thing that's going to be like a third world war. Is going to destroy the world because most of the people are taking drugs. We are not aware that where this way is going. Drugs are poisons. Drugs are killing people. Drugs are making people to do some nasty things. Drugs are destroying whatever people they worked hard to. People are in prison now. They are serving long sentences because of drugs. Some people are dead right now because of drugs. They dropped to school. They are homeless because of drugs. They sold their homes. They sold whatever, the investment because of drugs. So we have to understand that let's teach each other, let's teach our kids about the drugs because drugs are poison.
Thank you so much. It has been good to be in your company. Thanks a lot. And here you have it, the viewers. Get involved. Let's assist our children to overcome this beast, this dragon that we are fighting with. And let's all be part of this. He is one of the greatest heroes, African heroes, and we wish to have more of the people like him out there. Thank you and subscribe to watch more of these videos. This is yours, Aaron Nemarere on Aaron Nemarere TV. Oh, we see you again. Bye.